Stand up at the back of your mat. Okay, so let's just be underneath your pelvis, toes facing forward. Just have a little grounding. Feel the floor underneath you, and then press the floor away and go a little bit longer and taller, reaching the crown of the head up to the sky. Just take a little moment, check in with your body. Where's your weight centered right now? Trying to find balance between both feet. Press your big toe on down, pinky toe down. Heel drives down, and then find a little lightness in your arch. That lightness in your arch then translates up into lightness in your pelvic floor. Starting to draw your low abs in, finding your hip points align with your pubic bone. Softening the ribs into the body, even if you need to coax them down. And then take a nice big inhale up. And exhale. One more time, big inhale up. Exhale to dive over to your toes. And just take a little moment there. You can run the knees out, let the head hang heavy. A little breath there. And from there, let's walk out to your plank position. Finding your plank. Slide the shoulders away from your ears. Draw your abs up and in. Inhale on your exhale, take it to downward dog. And you can run the knees out here. And then pressing both heels back, round your spine forward, back into your plank. Holding your plank, draw your low abs in, float your right leg up. And lower, float your left leg up. Engage the glute. And lower, take it to downward dog. Exhale, roll back into your plank. Holding here, we're gonna hold the right leg up now. Keeping the hips squared and little pulse of the leg up. Engaging the glute. Drawing the abs in, so this is a great way to wake up the abs. Press the floor away from you, lower that foot, other side, lift it up. And little pulses up. And lower that leg down, take it to downward dog. Roll the eye of the elbow forward. Staying in your downward dog, we'll bend the elbows to tap in the direction of the mat and then straighten the elbows again. So bend your elbows backwards and straighten. Let your neck be long, thinking it is as an extension of your spine. 3, 2, last one. And then into your plank. Holding here, draw the low abs in. Tapping the right hand to your left shoulder, keep your pelvis still, and place the hand back on the floor. Engage the abs and tap the other side. So alternating, little tap to the shoulder. How still can you keep your pelvis? Engaging your belly up into your spine, so activating the transverse abdominis to help stabilize you. One more each way. Hold here, take it to downward dog. And then walk your hands towards your toes. Roll yourself up to stand. We're gonna do a set of squats here. I feel like the camera is just not at a good angle today for me. And then we're gonna get the feet about a little wider than your pelvis, about shoulder width apart. Hinge at the hips, pushing the hips back, lengthen the arms forward, and then come up and squeeze the glutes. Tracking the knees forward, push your hips back, press up and squeeze. So make sure your feet aren't all the way together, but they're not super wide. They're shoulder width apart. Press the hips back and go up like you're gonna hover over your seat and then come up and squeeze the glutes. Push the hips back, up and squeeze. 3 more like that. Waking up the backside because the whole body is gonna work together to stabilize the center. The next one stays down for pulses and pulse down. Getting into your heels, slide your shoulders away from your ears for 5. Hold it here, bring your hands to the mat, step back into your plank, drawing the abs in. You're gonna bend your elbows halfway and straighten. Bend your elbows halfway and straighten. One more time, bend your elbows halfway. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Lower yourself to the mat. Fold your forearms together. Glue the forehead to the forearms. And then just take a couple of breaths here. Let everything go into the mat. But to feel your hip points and pubic bone press down into the mat. And finding a little more length in your lumbar spine. Notice how you can start to activate your abs up off of the mat as you draw your belly button up into your spine. Feel the ribs start to even come together in this. With the shoulders relaxed, keeping the forehead on the forearms. Draw the abs in and then float your upper body an inch or 2 up off the mat. Lifting your elbows a little bit higher. and lower everything down. So just the upper body to start. Engage the abs, keep your pelvis in place as you lift your upper body and lower. Always thinking about length, not height. So you lift, lengthen forward. Maybe come a little bit higher, but it's because you're lengthening further forward and lower, not compromising in the low back. One more time. Lift, lengthen, and lower everything back down. Floating the right leg up off the mat, keeping your hip point pressing down, and lower, and then the left. So alternating legs, noticing how your pelvis can stay so still as you lift the leg up off the mat. The glute is engaged, the abs are engaged. One more single leg. And if you're ever having any back issues, you just stay with single leg. Otherwise, we're gonna lift both legs here. Draw the abs and lift both legs. And lower. Can you relax your upper body? Lift both legs and lower. Both legs lift and hold and draw circles. Or you're gonna start up and around, out, up and around. Engaging the glutes. And then reverse it. So going back. Pull your belly button up a little bit deeper into your spine. And last one, lower the legs. Shake the pelvis out and then glue your heels, bend your knees, bring your heels to the sky and let your knees be just as wide as your pelvis. So they're not super wide, just as wide as the pelvis. And then you float the thighs up off the mat and lower. As you do this, you're first engaging your abs. You're engaging your glutes. You're letting your upper body completely relax. So try not to let there be tension in your shoulders or your neck. 5 more like that. Then you engage the glute, then lift the thighs. Pull the abs in, lift the thighs. 3 more. 2. This one stays up and tiny pulses up. Push your heels together. Pulse up. For 5. And last one, lengthen the legs all the way out into the mat. Shake your pelvis out and extend your arms out long in front of you. Arms are shoulder width apart. Draw the abs up and in, slide the shoulder blades away from the air so we float the arms and legs up off of the mat and then start to flutter hip. So again, thinking about length even as you're swimming, getting a little bit longer. And then maybe you lift the chest up a little bit higher, lift the thighs a little bit higher, but that's not compromising your low back. So are you drawing the abs in? Are you feeling lengthened? And then you can increase that range of motion for 5, 4, 3, 2, and lower everything down. Take a breath there and then press the child's pose. Let the knees be wide, feet together, bringing your bum back to your hips. Lengthening the fingertips a little further forward, letting your bum rest a little bit heavier, and take 2 breaths there, expanding your lungs and your back. And then we'll, on our next breath, bring yourself up onto your hands and knees, finding that the knees are directly underneath your pelvis. Your hands are directly underneath your shoulders, rounding into your cat stretch, taking a stretch there, pushing your spine to the sky, and then into your cow.
Smoothie when I'm done.
Into your cat, and into your cow.
Now eat something.
Finding your way into your neutral spine, drawing your belly button up into your spine as you extend your right arm and your left leg at the same time. Plugging your right shoulder away from your ear, engaging that left glute, and hand and the knee meet back on the floor. Other side, you lengthen. So you first engage the abs, and then you move. Keeping your pelvis so still, like your cup of coffee can be balancing on your sacrum. Lengthen. And drag it in. Can you relax the foot that's on the floor? So your foot isn't doing all the work, it's your abs doing all the work. Nice. Let's meet back at right arm, left leg and hold it. The spine rounds for the knee and the elbow to connect and then extend. Knee and the elbow connect and extend. So waking up the core, adding a little bit of movement. 3, breathe, 2, contract, and then neutral. Last one, lengthen and hold, float the right foot up off of the mat, bouncing on the knee, and then meet back at center. Left arm, right leg. Lengthen, hold, and then you surround your spine for the knee and the elbow to touch, and extend. Connect in, and extend. Pull the belly in, 3 more. 2. And last one, extend and hold. Floating the left foot up off of the mat, balancing here, engage the abs. And then bring it all the way back to center, one time into your cat. And into your cow. And then back to come and sit on your booty, grabbing your band or your ring or whatever you have. Towel, whatever it is for you. Let's put the wrists inside. I like this to help get into the back muscles. Slide the shoulder blades away from the ears. Lift and lengthen out of your spine. So press out into the band and then plug the shoulder blades down. Draw the belly in a little bit deeper, roll back halfway, holding it here. Try to soften the legs, soften the hip flexors, and then come up to sit. Halfway back. Hold the abs in, just starting to wake up the core and bring it back up to sit. And halfway back, holding, slide the shoulder blades down and just a little press out or in. So if the wrists are inside, you pulse out. If you're on the outside, pressing in, or whatever you have, just activate the muscles in your traps, your mid to lower traps and your lats. Holding here, go back a tiny bit further, pulling your belly button in a little bit deeper and float the right leg a tiny bit up off the mat and lower it back down, left leg, tiny bit up and lower. You've sent your tailbone underneath, so you've rounded your spine, so your abs are contracting even deeper to help stabilize you here. It's a tiny lift of the leg. One more each way. Holding here, take the arms above the head. Slide the shoulder blades down, and then drag the arms forward, pressing out or pulling, whatever you have, but keep the tension in your back. Lengthening the arms up, draw your abs in. And drag the arms back forward. One more time, lengthen the arms up. Twist your torso over to the right with nothing else moving. Just twist your torso and rotate back to center. Can you keep your legs still? Twist to the left. And bring it back to center. Again, rotate just your rib cage over to it, spiraling your ribs around as your pelvis stays still, spiral back to center. Over to the left, twist, keeping the biceps by the ears. One more time, coming back, you're back at center. And then rotate, twist, twist, twist. Keep lengthening the arms up, plugging the shoulder blades down, rotate back to center. Over to the left, twist, twist, twist. Draw the shoulder blades away from the ears. Bring it back to center and dive over to your toes and take a stretch. Hooking the band onto your right foot so we can stretch out the legs to get deeper into your core. And we'll roll down vertebra by vertebra, taking the right leg up to the sky, and we'll stretch the hamstring. So just first melt your body down into the mat, give it a little moment right there. Not yanking the leg back, but just letting it know that it's about to come into the stretch. You're pushing your right sits bone forward, and then maybe starting to bend and straighten the knee a little bit to find a little more length in the hamstring.
No cream cheese?
Can your shoulders relax? Draw the belly in.
Happy Thanksgiving.
And then hold that, come back a little bit further.
No cream cheese?
And a little bit
Oh,
further.
there's not some. It must be upstate. Sorry, honey. Do you do olive oil?
Right there. And then release the hamstring stretch, we're getting it to your toes for your calf stretch. So you'll start to pull the toes closer towards your shin, and then you can point and flex. And point and flex. And holding the toes down, heel pushes up, shoulders relax, steeping into the calf. And then back to the center of the foot, and we'll spiral the thigh out to the side and get your inner thigh stretch. Pushing your left hip down. If you need to, bring your left hand to your hip. So let it know that you're pushing that side down and lengthening through the right inner thigh. And breathe. Shoulders relax. And on your next exhale, sweep the leg to the sky. Anchor the back pocket down and let the leg come a little bit across the body to stretch to the side of the hip. Breathing into the hip here Maybe you're pushing your right thumb into the hip crease to find a little more length through your right side. Let's take a couple more breaths here. Can you keep pushing your right back pocket to the mat? And we'll release that. And into your spinal twist, letting the leg fall across as you look towards your right hand, keeping both shoulders pressed down into the mat. And extend the right leg out straight. Shake it out. And then holding onto your band to peel yourself up and over to your toes, catching on to your left foot. And you'll roll all the way down, taking your left leg up to the sky and melting into your hamstring stretch here. Easing into it. Maybe bending and straightening the leg. And then when it feels good, you just hold it there, breathe, and maybe come back a little bit further. One more breath there, keep the shoulders relaxed. And then we'll release that, bringing it to the toes for your calf stretch. Toes pull down, heel pushes up. The calves being tight can cause problems for your back and can be a cause of plantar fasciitis. So you want to make sure the calves are getting their stretch. You point and flex. And then on your next breath, let's move it back to the center of the foot. And spiral that thigh out and open for your inner thigh stretch. Keeping your pelvis anchored in place. Maybe you need to put your right hand on your right hip to keep pushing it down and breathe into that left inner thigh. Maybe lengthen a little bit further out with that left heel. Take 2 breaths here. On your next exhale, we'll sweep the leg back up to the sky, anchor the back pocket down, the leg come a little bit across the body, and stretch the side of the hip. Maybe you take the left thumb, push it into the left hip crease to find a little more length through your left side. Take 2 breaths here. And we'll melt into our spinal twist with the band to the side for the moment. Exhale as that leg just gently falls across, looking to the left fingers. And extend that leg all the way back out to straight on the mat. Shake it out so they're long and loose. Fingertips up to the sky. Inhale, firm back the thighs down. Exhale, only the head, neck, and shoulders is gonna lift. Reaching your fingertips towards your heels. See that your hip bones are in line with your glute bone. Draw your abs in a little bit deeper and lower back down. Inhale, exhale. Just to wake up the upper abs, to tell the upper abs that they're doing the job of supporting the head, neck, and shoulders. So you fold forward from the ribs. This time, fold forward and lift the right foot 1 little inch up off the mat and lower. Inhale, exhale, left leg 1 little inch up. Tiny lift. Because you want the abs to be doing it, not the quad and the hip flexor. So think small movement to get the abs. Exhaling on the lift. 1 more each way. Inhale, exhale. And bring it all the way back to center. And release the arms to the sides, bend the knees, bring the feet to the mat. Take a couple times just to arch and imprint your spine. Feeling the 2 extremes and then come back into your neutral, allowing your hip bones to be in line with your glute bone, keeping your low back curved, bring your right leg into tabletop, bring your left leg up to join it, shoulders relax. So that we always know where our spine is supposed to be when we're in our tabletop position, keeping our core neutral, tap the right toes forward, and march that leg back up, left leg tap forward, and float it back up. So you just march the legs 1 at a time forward to Do a movement that your core already, your brain knows, and your core knows what muscles to work. So it's easy to start to get into the transverse abdominis because the movement is not complicated. Tapping forward and left, forward and left. So pay attention, what is happening in your center as you do this? Are you keeping your pelvis still? Are you lifting up out of your pelvic floor? Are you dropping your belly button in towards your spine while keeping the lumbar curve? Are you softening your ribs into the front body, anchoring your back bottom ribs down, letting the shoulders relax? Last one, each way. Flex the feet, lead with the heels. Same movement, now just dip the right heel forward and lift. And left. If you'd like, you can take your hands up to the sky. So now there's no support of the arms on the floor and your abs have to work even harder. If you'd like, you can lift your head, neck, and shoulders and bring your hands alongside your hips, or you can have fingertip touch behind the ears. Wherever suits you best. I don't want any tension in the neck, because if the neck is starting to get mad, then your abs won't be as focused. Last one, each way. Bring everything back to center, hug the knees in, take a little stretch here, let the head rock side to side, legs to table, hands to the sky. Give the back of your skull a little bit of a press into the mat, not hard, but just a little feedback that the back muscles also are incorporated. Draw the abs in, extend your right arm backwards, left leg forward. Keep pressing the back of the skull down into the mat, and then bring that movement back to center, other side. So just moving opposite leg, just like we did on hands and knees. Feel how your abs are dropping down into your core, down into your spine, sorry, as you move the arm and leg away from the body to help stabilize you. You're still giving that little bit of energy from the skull into the mat. And I want you to feel that as now you come into lifting your head, neck, and shoulders. So it's the upper abs that are supporting you here to keep the head lifted. Inhale and exhale. Let's do 2 more each way. Can you sink your abs a little bit deeper? Can you make sure your leg is tracking forward? Last one. Return everything to center and hang it in and relax. Shoulders melt, whatever movement you need. When we end that exercise, whatever movement you need to then be able to regroup. Let's bring the legs to table. Bring the fingertips behind the ears, float the head, neck, and shoulders up. Squeeze the thighs together and let both toes dip forward and drag the legs back up. Both toes dip forward, squeeze the thighs and drag the legs back up. Tap forward and lift. Now, if that feels great, feel free to lower the head as you tap the legs forward and then lift the head, neck, and shoulders as the legs drop back up to tabletop. Tap the toes forward, lower the head, and then lift. Tap forward, exhale. Smooth and controlled, 4 more like that. Are you keeping your spine in neutral as the legs go forward and the head goes down, and then as it comes back to center? Inhale. Last one, we're gonna stay in the lift. Hold glute heels together, turn the toes out. Frog legs extend out and frog legs come back in. Lengthen, swoosh the thighs and drag it back in. Elbows are wide to the sides. Lengthen, squeeze your thighs and drag it back in. Soft through the jaw. You always have the option to put your head on the mat if you need to. For 3, 2. Pull your abs a little bit deeper. Last one, pull the legs out, point the toes, crisscross the legs. You're gonna go cross, cross, cross. Beating the inner thighs one over the other. Can the legs get a little bit longer, a little bit straighter for 5, 3, 4. Soft the jaw. 2, last one. Frog legs back in, relax everything back down to the mat. Draw circles on the ceiling with your nose, let go of any tension. Reverse. And bring everything back to center, legs to tabletop, hands to the sky. Inhale, exhale, press your hands towards your hips. So lift your head, neck, and shoulders, extend your legs at a high diagonal for hundreds breath. Knees in, head down, hands back over the shoulders. Inhale, exhale. Zip the abs in. Inhale, exhale. Smooth and controlled, staying in neutral. Can you keep this one up for the hundreds now? Lengthen, hold, and start to pump down to the hundreds. Inhaling for 5, and exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can keep your legs in parallel, pushing the thighs towards each other. You could also glue your heels together, turn your toes apart slightly, pushing the inner thighs together in your external rotation. You could have your legs in tabletop. You could have your head down. I just want you with those, finding your breath and engaging deep into your core. Inhaling for 5, and then big exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. And exhale, maybe the legs go a little bit lower if they're fully extended. You decide what's best for you. Where are your abs most active? Where do you feel the most stable but challenged? Inhale and exhale. One more set. Inhale and exhale. Hold it there. Draw the legs back up. Hug it all the way in and relax. And take a breath there. Let's extend the arms and legs super long. Get a little stretch in the core. Finding a little more length. And we'll bring the hands down to the sides, bend the knees, bring the feet to the mat. Tuck your pelvis to roll your hips up into your bridge, pushing your knees to the front of the room, pushing the hips up to the sky, grounding the heels down, hugging the thighs slightly towards each other, and then sequentially pressing your spine down. Inhaling at the bottom, exhale to peel your spine all the way up. Pushing the hips to the sky, push your knees forward, widen through the collarbone and sequentially rolling it down. And maybe you want your hands to the sky to take away some stability to push your abs into gear even more. Because your abs aren't getting a hangout as we're doing bridging. We are working the posterior chain of the body, so we're getting the abs are stabilizing, the glutes and the hamstrings are helping to activate to lift your hips. Now we'll hold the hips up to the sky, keep the collarbone wide, and tiny little pulse of your hips up, press up, hold, up, hold. So firing up the glutes, making sure that big muscle group is staying strong to help you get around all day long, keeping your body working efficiently for 5. Hold this one to the sky, lift your heels. Drop your bum to the mat, press up and squeeze the glutes. So you're pushing your toes down, you're lifting your heels high, you just drop your butt, press up and squeeze. Tap down, up and squeeze. Collarbone is wide, squeeze. Draw the abs in, lift and hold it, and then tiny uphold, uphold, uphold. So you just keep the glutes fired, and then you just get them a little bit tighter, a little bit tighter. Now pay attention that the inner thighs are also working, press that big toe mound down, not letting the knees splay out for 3. Last one, hold it. You're gonna keep the arms, they can be up to the sky or they can be on the mat, but it's gonna be more challenging when they're to the sky. We're gonna march the right leg into tabletop and gently place it back down without letting the pelvis move. Left leg to tabletop. So slow march, one at a leg, super control, going at your own pace. This is not a race. This is to keep the pelvis as still as you possibly can. So you have to fire up the abs, you have to fire up the glutes. We're gonna do one more each way. Keep the hips up to the sky. Lowering both feet, lower your heels, walk the feet to the outside edges of the mat. Walk the feet a touch forward and then lift your toes to the sky, dig your heels down. Keep the neck long, tap your butt down, press up, hold and squeeze. Tap down, up, hold and squeeze. Lower and lift. Collarbone is wide. Down, up, hold, squeeze. And squeeze. The next one stays up to the sky. Tap your knees to touch. Open the knees. They go in and out. While your pelvis stays still. Maybe you're bringing your sits bones a little bit closer towards your calves, especially if you're feeling anything in your low back. Keep drawing your belly in. You're squeezing your pelvic floor. Hold the knees open and pulse your hips to the sky. Uphold, uphold. Collarbone is wide for 5. Last one, hold it, drop the feet, walk the feet back to hip width apart, and then bring the arms back down to the sides if they're not already there. Keep the collarbone wide. We'll bring the right leg into tabletop. Keep the left toes on the ground, so your whole foot is pressing down, and then just extend your right leg out straight, shooting it to the front of the room, and then drag it back in. Press out. Press that big toe mound down on the left side. The leg just goes out and back to tabletop. Extend and in, point the toes, long leg. Keep the leg out, lift the left toes, kick the right leg to the sky, and it comes right back to that start position. It goes up to the sky and back down. Lift and back in line with the left leg. Hold the right leg up to the sky and little toe kicks to the sky, press up, up. So that left glute and hamstring should really have a story going on right now for 5. Last one, hold, drop the right foot back to the mat. Both feet are on the mat. Commit to the hips staying up, so you regroup right there. And we'll bring the left leg into tabletop. Keep grounding through your right foot. Extend your left leg out straight and drag it. Lengthen and in. Check in with what's going on in the upper body. You want to make sure that you're not putting all the tension in the upper body. Let the left or the right glute and hamstring really stabilize you and get the abs going. Lengthen the left leg out, lift your right toes. Lift the left leg to the sky and drag it back down. It goes straight to the sky and then back in line with the thigh. Wide through the collarbone, no tension in the neck and the jaw. Hold the leg to the sky and little toe kicks up, press up, up hold, up hold. Get that right glute. If you need to, you can bring your hand to your glute, tell it it's working for 5, 4, 3, 2, last 1. Place that foot back on the mat. Keep both feet down now, hip width apart. One more set, pulses to the sky. Press up, hold, hug the thighs slightly towards each other. When I say that though, I really want the legs just parallel. They love to just splay out. So when you're hug the thighs slightly in, it's hopefully just keeping them in parallel, keeping the inner thigh active. For 3, 2, last one, hold and roll your spine down sequentially, vertebra by vertebra, until the tailbone comes down. Give your knees a little hug. Take a breath with crossing the right ankle over the left knee. Thread your hands behind the thigh and stretch that glute out a little bit. Your piriformis. And switching sides. And go underneath, bringing your hands behind. And returning both feet to the mat. Walk your feet a little bit forward. Reach the hands to the sky. So you don't want your heels in too close to you, but you don't want them all the way extended. Inhale, exhale to roll your spine up. Vertebra by vertebra by vertebra, all the way up to sit. Grab behind your thighs, lift yourself up. Get a little bit longer and taller here. Bring your right leg into table, left leg up to meet it. You've got your hands there for support for a moment. Kick your legs to the sky and tap your toes to the mat. Kick the legs to the sky and tap the toes down. And then maybe you release the hands off the back of the thighs. Or maybe not. Where are your abs feeling like they're getting the most activation? For 3, controlling from your low abs, get longer through your spine, and we'll bring the legs to tabletop. Extend your left leg long, frame the right knee with both hands, and gently place your spine back down into the mat, into your neutral pelvis, and then switch side, single leg stretch. Switch, and switch, and switch. So your abs are drawing in. If the neck is feeling tension, you put your head on the mat, and maybe a touch faster, we go switch, and switch. Maybe you reach your hands forward. Maybe you make a little wall for your thigh to push into. Where are you getting your abs most activated? For 3, breathe. 2, pull your left a little bit deeper. Last 1, everything back to center and hug the knees in and relax. Bringing the legs to table, double leg stretch, hands to the sky. Wide through the collarbone, float the head, neck, and shoulders up, reach just past your knees. Extend the arms and legs away at a high diagonal. Circle the arms around and draw the knees back to stop at tabletop. Inhale as you find the length. Exhale. Inhale. 2 more like that, and we're adding on. Last one like that. Now extend the legs out. Hold the arms and legs long. We open the arms and legs. Close the arms and legs. Circle, bring it to center. Lengthen the arms and legs from the weight of the body. It's the same, and then just go open, close, and circle back around. 3 more like that. Extend. open, close, circle it around. 2. And circle it around. 1 more. Your brain also has to work for this one. Circle it around and hug it all the way and then relax. Coming into single straight leg stretch, where we'll throw a little variation in at the end. Legs to table, hands to the sky. Extend the legs to the sky as you lift your head, neck, and shoulders. Extend your left leg long, grabbing gently behind the right thigh. Double pull that right leg in, scissor the legs, pull, pull. Inhale, exhale. So maybe you reach your hands forward if you feel like your hands are doing all of the work. So you can really tell the abs to turn on. My right leg doesn't even want to straighten, but my left leg wants to a little more. Maybe one side is feeling a little better than the other for you guys. We'll pull and pull, pull. Keep the right leg up, hold, pulse the right leg in, just pull in, and hold. Left leg does a tiny circle. Circle it around. Drawing the abs in deeper and reverse. And switch legs. Left leg pulls in. And hold, right leg stir and stir. And reverse. And pull both legs up, hug it all the way in, relax. Let's bring the feet back down just to regroup for a moment in your neutral spine. Make sure the abs are turning on. Fingertip touch behind the ears. Let the elbows be wide to the sides for a moment. Feel that opening in your chest. Keep that as you bring your legs to tabletop. Exhale to float the head, neck, and shoulders up. Keep those elbows wide as you extend your legs up to the sky. Glue your heels from your toes apart, just a half a pizza slice. And then inhale to lengthen your legs to your point of control. Exhale to float the legs back up. Inhale the legs, lengthen, draw the abs, and exhale to float the legs back up. So you have the option to doing this in tabletop. You could also have the legs in parallel. You could keep your head down, you keep your arms down. You've got 3 more. You're drawing your low abs in. Think that your low abs are doing all the work. So float the legs back up, pulling your belly button in. Sometimes maybe one hand on your low abs is going to help to tell those muscles to do the job. 1 more. Exhale. And then hug it in and relax. And let your head rock, let sway your back, whatever feels nice. So you've got 1 more for the abdominal series, for the obliques. So regroup where you need to. We'll bring the legs back to tabletop. Float the head, neck, and shoulders up. Extend the legs out at a high diagonal. And then twist to bring the left shoulder in the direction of the right knee. Everything returns to center. And twist other side. Bottom rib to opposite hip. So keep pulling the elbow away from the knee. Try not to pull the elbow towards the knee. I want you to pull the shoulder towards the knee. Keep the collarbone opening. Exhale on your twist. And twist. For 3. Bottom rib to opposite hip. Keep your pelvis still. 2. And last one. Rotate back to center, hug it in and relax. Head rock side to side. Take a long stretch here. Let's take a couple breaths here. Let's make the right side a little longer than the left. If you'd like, you can grab a hold of your right wrist and give it a little pull. Lengthening from out of your pelvis, opening through the side of the ribs. Get your right leg a little bit longer. And then other side. And back to center. Let's take the hands up to the sky. Firm the back of the thighs down, like you're holding the beach ball in your arms. Inhale on your exhale, head, neck, and shoulders lifts. And then come up a little bit higher, and a little bit higher. And you're at about your belly button, and then you dive up. Pull your abs in, pull them in tight, and then reach forward and scoop and roll it down. Collarbone stays wide. All the way back down to mat. Inhale. Exhale, peel vertebra by vertebra by vertebra, up, up. Keep diving up and over. At the point where you're coming up and over, pull your abs in even deeper and scoop and roll it all the way down. And let's do 2 more like that. So finding all that length as you lift up and out of your pelvis. And then on the next one, we'll meet at the top. Stepping forward and take a little stretch over your toes. And let's locate your weights. So come to sitting up nice and tall. Elbows tuck into your sides. Wide through the collarbone. Lift up out of your pelvis. So really find that your posture is amazing here. And then tucking your elbows in even tighter to your sides, just open the arms. So we're not even gonna roll back yet. I just want you to sit up super tall, open, push the elbows into your sides. So thinking about where the arm and the elbow, the arm is meeting the body, not the elbow. The elbow's tucked into your sides. Is that wine bottles, Eileen? I love it. At first I was like, are you getting a drink? I love, so whatever you can put in your hands right here. Hold this one open, push the elbows into your sides, sit up taller, and pulse back, tiny pulse back. Pulse. Long and tall, wide through the collarbone, lift up out of your pelvic floor for 3, 2, hold, roll back halfway. Halfway, holding there. And then push the arms out about 3/4 and pull them back in. So they're not straight to the sides, but they're not straight to the front. That middle position. You're lifting up out of your pelvic floor. Press and drag it back in. Soft through the quads. And then hold the arms out in tiny circles here. Little circles. Slide the shoulder blades away from the ears. So the neck, you can move it, there's no tension. And reverse. Drawing the belly in a little bit deeper. 3, 2, and last one. Send the arms back forward, sit up tall, dive your arms backwards, and shift your weight slightly forward. Maybe you bend your knees here to get the spine long, whatever is gonna help. Arms are long, lift them up a little bit higher, palms face each other as you tap them in and in. Collarbone widens. Get longer through your spine. And holding it in and pulse up, up. So feeling your mid to lower traps and your lats. And then flip the palms to the sky, lift up a little bit higher, and then micro bend the elbow and push the arm straight. Tiny bend straight in, bend straight in. Keeping the neck long. I know I just turned my head to look at you guys, but you wanna keep lengthening out of your pelvis, long spine, right through the crown of the head for 3, arms up higher, 2, last one, send the arms forward, turn the palms towards each other, roll back halfway, soften through the quads, soften through the hip flexors, and then hinge the arms open and hug around. Inhale and exhale. Can you lift your elbows just a touch? So try not to let your elbows come down. You want to lift your elbows up. We're getting into the delts too here. Open and close. Hold the arms open. Now flip the palms back, pinkies to the sky, and small lift. Drop the shoulders away from the ears. If you ever need to check in, shake your head. See, are you in the neck? Are you in your arms and in your back? And then send the arms back forward. Flip the palms to the sky, bend the elbows, and straighten into your biceps. Just soften the quads. 5, 3, as in, and last one. Send the arms out, turn the palms towards each other, sit up tall, take the arms to the sky, bend your elbows behind you, and straighten. Sitting up super tall. Getting a little bit longer and taller. Gonna wrap the ribs into the body. 5, squeeze. 2, and last one. And we'll bring the weights all the way down, come to lay on your right side. Stretch the arms out if you need to. I kind of skip right through that part. Laying all the way out, body on your balance beam, stacking the hips, drawing the abs in, pull the bottom waistline up off of the mat. Maybe start with your kickstand hand. Flex with the feet to begin as you lift your top leg up, lift your bottom leg to meet it, and they both lower. We're gonna go lift, inner thigh, and lower. We go lift, lift, lower. Maybe the top hand wants to come to your top hip. Or maybe it wants to stay as your kickstand. It doesn't matter, it's where's the activation. And now we'll keep the legs up, point the toes, they're gonna lower together and lift. Lower and lift. If you feel this in your back at all, bring your legs a touch forward. Keep lifting your bottom waistline up off of the mat. Keep drawing the abs in, keep wrapping the ribs in, keep the legs up. Point those toes, scissor the legs. We go scissor. Try to relax the shoulder out of your ear. Maybe that top arm comes to the sky, maybe it comes over your head. Where do you want the challenge? Maybe you don't need the challenge. Last one, bringing it all the way back to center, bring the legs a touch forward and then lower them onto the mat. Continue to push your top hip away from you, lift your top leg in line with the hip, flex with the foot, get the leg a little inch longer, sweep the leg forward, keeping it longer as you keep pushing your booty to the back, and then press and squeeze it back. Flex to bring it forward, and point and sweep. So maybe the head stays on the arm, maybe you like it propped up. Your choice wherever you want it. Flex and bring it forward, point and sweep. 2 more like that. Everything else stays still. This time when you sweep it back, it's gonna stay back. Point the toes and little tiny pulses back. So you're engaging the glute, you're keeping it tight, and it's an isolation of the booty as you just pulse it back for 3, 2, last one. It comes back to center, spouse the thigh to the sky as you kick your leg to the sky and flex and drag it down. Kick up and flex. I wish you guys could all come to my class that I have here tomorrow night at 6:30. So if you guys want to meet me at the beach tomorrow night for my class, everyone is invited. Hold the leg to the sky, spiral the thigh open in little circles. There's these girls on the beach that sell bananas and other fruit. And last week during the class, they stood there on the other side of the fence with their banana trays on their head and their little faces over the fence watching us reverse. So I'm trying to get them to join for class tomorrow as well. They're probably like 10-ish. Hold, flex the foot, and then let the leg fall forward to in line with your hips, smoothing control. Don't let it just fall, you gotta control. And then with control, it goes back up to the sky. You let it come all the way down and then straight back up. So the work happens also as you're lowering with control, not letting gravity just pull it down. 3 more like that. Do you love how it feels on your butt? The answer is yes. So I know you guys are like screaming yes right now. You love it. This one's gonna stay right in front. Hold, micro bend the knee, and then kick forward. Tiny bend, tiny straighten. So you're pushing your hip backwards. For 3, 2, last one. Sweep the leg back to meet the bottom leg. Bend both knees. Float the thighs up. Your heels are in line with your tailbone and clamshells. Lift and lower. You have the option to keep your thighs on the floor. You don't have to lift the bottom thigh. Because if the balancing act of it, it will be your abs. But if you're not getting your glute, then maybe don't lift the thigh yet. You want to make sure we're getting that glute need. Sometimes it's already hard enough to wake it up. And if you add another challenge, it's just going to be like, ah, what else? Pull this one up and pulse it to the sky. Pulse up. Hold that up, keep the leg out straight. Bring the heel back in, lower the knee. Lift, extend, in, lower. Press up, lengthen. Keep pushing your top hip away from you, especially if you're feeling any pinching, burning in the glute. you're probably not targeting the glute med. Hold this one up to the sky and tiny press up for 5. And last one, bring it in and lower everything back down. Let's slide the bottom forearm underneath you. Legs are long. And then push the floor away from you. Take the top arm up to the sky. And then we're coming into a side plank. So if you want to bend your bottom leg, feel free, or one foot in front of the other, or both feet are stacked. Lift your hips to the sky. Like there's a hole on the ceiling that you can grab a hold of and lift your hips an extra inch. Keeping the neck long, keeping your hand right over your shoulder. For 5, 4, 3, 2, bonus round, lift the top leg. And lower it down, come all the way down, and then other side. Leg all the way down straight. Onto your balance feet. And then flexed feet start, kickstand hand, lift the top leg, lift the bottom leg, and they both go down. We will lift, lift, and lower. Bottom waistline lifts up off the mat. Lift, lift, and lower. Maybe the top hand comes onto your hip. Are you still wrapping the ribs in? Now we'll hold both legs up, point the toes. They're both gonna lower, they're both lifting. Lower and lift. Lower and lift. The next one stays up. Point the toes as we scissor forward and back. Is your bottom waistline coming up off of the mat? Are you wrapping your ribs in? Everything is staying active. And we'll bring both legs back to center. Bring the legs 1 inch forward and lower the legs down. Continue to push your top hip away. Lift the top leg, flex to the foot as you sweep your leg forward and point and sweep it back. Are you pinning your hips down into the mat, making sure nothing else is moving, only the leg? So not letting the back swing forward and back. You want to keep your lumbar curve maintained. Keep the ribs wrapping in. So from the front and the back, you're staying very secure. Squeeze the glute. Hold the leg on the back and tiny pulses back. That's back. And then sweep the leg back to center, sprout the thigh to the sky as you lift your leg and flex and pull. It goes lengthening to the sky and drag it straight down with resistance. So we're always controlling the down as much as we're controlling the up. Lengthen and drag. Hold this one up to the sky, spiral the thigh open, and little stirs. Draw the abs in, so they're still working to help you here, reverse it. The abs are stabilizing you while that leg is having that little stir inside the hip socket. Hold, flex the foot, sweep the leg forward with control and sweep the leg back up to the sky. It comes forward and sweep it up to the sky. Check in with the rest of your body. This side doesn't feel as strong for me at the moment, so I feel like my shoulders are wanting to come into the equation, and I have to work extra hard with the glute and my abs to not let it be in my shoulders and in my neck. This one stays forward. Micro bend the knee, kick forward. Bend straight in, bend straight in. 5. And last one, so you get all the way back in, bend both knees, angle the ankles up, lift the thighs slightly if you did on the other side, and then open and close. Squeeze and down. The ribs wrap in. So really controlling the movement to isolate here. And we'll hold the thigh up and add little pulses up. And then we'll keep the leg open, extend the leg out long, rebend, lower the knee. The knee opens, extend. In and down. Lift. Extend, in and down. 3 more like that. Fire up that glute med, get longer out of the side body. This one stays lifted, lengthen out and hold, get longer, and then tiny pulse up. Soften through the jaw for 5. And last one, bring it all the way back in and lower it down. Coming into your side plank, however you took it on the other side, taking it here. Bottom forearm underneath you. So really stay open through your collarbone first and make sure you have your solid support from the bottom. Top arm up to the sky. And then lift your hips up. Grab that support on the ceiling and hold here. Draw the abs in and lift a little bit higher. Long neck, wide through the collarbone for 5, 4, 3, 2. Your bonus strong. Lift the leg and lower the leg and lower all the way back down and come all the way up. Let's come around to meet in your plank position, and Neil's gonna tell us. We're back, we're still in becoming. Soon you're gonna have to get Barack's book, Neil, and we'll have to start from there. No pressure. Okay, so you have the option on your forearms or on your hands for a 1-minute plank, full body activated, but do what you don't normally do. If you're always on your hands, go to your forearms or vice versa. So your choice wherever you want to find your challenge today, and let's start off in our plank position and nails up.
In Hawaii, Barack's laid-back half flourished. We were late for everything, and it didn't matter, not even to me. One day we're out on a friend's fishing boat, lounging under a blue sky with a cold beer and jawing with an old friend. Barack was no longer fixated on law school or social justice. So many friends judged potential mates on looks and financial prospects. But if the guy couldn't communicate or show vulnerability, they figured time and marriage would fix it. Barack had arrived fully formed, unafraid to express weakness and was willing to sacrifice for a bigger purpose. And now in Hawaii, I could see he valued long-term relationships. And by his devotion to a strong-willed mother, I knew he could handle a partner who had her own voice. Those things you can't teach. Barack now showed me everything I needed to know about the kind of life partner he'd be. 3, 2, 1.
Your dog. Oh, wouldn't it be nice to be in Hawaii right now? Lift those 6 bones high and run these out. And then gently making your walk with your hands back to your toes with a soft bend in the knee. And just hang out here for a moment. Take a breath there, maybe sway side to side, whatever feels good. And then seeing that your feet are hip width apart. Micro bending the knees so you're not tense in your low back. Draw your abs in and start to press the ground away from you. To roll your spine up, head being heavy. So getting longer, taller, and stronger than before you came into class. Rolling your shoulder blades away from your ears. Grounding through the feet to get a little bit longer and taller, finding that activation through your core, and then take an exhale up. And exhale. And thanks for coming, Pilates Hotties. You guys are awesome. Let's stop recording.